and welcome back to Better You. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson, and do I have a special treat for you? I have a dear friend that has joined me. He was on my show a few weeks ago. We're talking about financial matters. His name is Josh. Josh, thank you so much for coming back again.
Thank you.
You know, I learned so much from you the first time that you were here. I said, well, you've got to come back, and I'm so glad you took time out of your day to come and join us again. So tell me, before we start talking about our topic, for my viewers that may not have seen you before, a little bit about yourself and about this financial information that you're going to share with us.
Yeah, so I'm Josh Siegel, and I have 3 beautiful children and a wonderful wife, and we teach a group for our church, a Dave Ramsey Financial Peace Group. We've been teaching it now for almost 3 years, and it's been good. We've seen a lot of people have their lives change through it and get out of debt and get themselves on a good trajectory for their future.
So, you know, Josh, I brought you back so we could talk about something that a lot of people may or may not know a lot of information about, is that American dream of buying your first home or buying a home, period.
Yeah.
So does Dave Ramsey have a program in place for people to help them get to that point to be a homeowner?
Yeah, so what we go through is the baby steps. Paying off the home early is one of them, but that's not necessarily buying a home. Baby step number 1 is saving $1,000 as an emergency fund. Baby step 2 is paying off your debt with the debt snowball. Baby step 3 is having a 3 to 6 months emergency fund, covering your expenses in place. Baby step 4 is investing in your retirement. Baby step 5 is saving for your kids' college. And baby step 6 is paying off your home early. Now, baby step 3B he talks about is when you're in the process of saving to buy for a home. So right after you finish saving your 3 to 6 months emergency fund, then you can save for your down payment on your home.
So tell me, do you think it's better for a person to buy a home or for someone to just rent?
Well, you know, you ever been away from home for a while and are on vacation or on a business trip and, you know, you get back home and it just feels nice to be home, right? And, you know, buying a home, like you said, is like the American dream. I mean, in our country, we have that benefit here. A lot of other countries, you can't even buy the land to put the home on, or you can't even buy the home. So it's something that's relatively unique for Americans. But if you don't do it right, it becomes the American nightmare. So if you go and you buy a home and you're broke and you don't have, and your house starts to break, it can fall apart all around you. So yes, it is okay to rent. There's many reasons that you would want to rent, right? You'd want to rent if you just got married. For one, could be a very stressful time in life. Everybody's life's changing. You're starting to live with somebody potentially. You might want to know how close or not close to your mother-in-law you want to be. So you might want to rent for a little while. While you figure all that stuff out, and you just figure out how to be a couple. Another one is if you're new to an area, renting is a great idea, right? You might not know where the good part of town is or the bad part of town is.
That's true.
If you get familiar and see places that you like or places that you start to go to or you make a routine to, then you know that you'll want to move closer when you actually buy a home. And if you're in the military, military is another reason. There's a lot of military families out there that buy a house, then they get deployed somewhere else. They have to rent their house because they can't sell it. So they got rental houses plotted all over the United States and maybe even further. So if you're in the military, you may want to consider renting. A lot of people, it seems that get a divorce or they're widowed, they'll go out and buy a house. I don't know if it's just to like make them feel a little better about the whole problem. A lot of people that are in distress tend to spend money to make them feel better. So I would advise against that. And, you know, again, just if you don't have the money saved up in the baby steps, you know, if you haven't done baby step 1, 2, and 3, you're probably not really ready to buy a house because, again, it can become the American nightmare if you go buy a house and you don't have any money. So you've brought up a lot of good points as to why some people choose to rent and some people need to really think about before they decide to buy this home. So why should a person buy a home if they have already settled down where they are and decided, yes, this is what I want now? So a home is a forced savings plan. Yes, you're paying interest, but you're actually paying money in it, and it's not easy to get that money out unless you sell the home. So you have a forced savings plan. So you're paying towards something every month, and you're gaining ground. The other end is it's an inflation hedge. So as the housing market moves up, and over time it has, we had a little period where it kind of went kaplunk, but over time, housing has gone up. So you're part of that hedge fund because you own part of it, right? It's just like your home is like a bond, right? And as the market goes up, your bond goes up. So your home goes up. So it's an inflation hedge. So it's a good investment. Homes are virtually tax-free.
This is true.
So you have to pay your annual taxes on it to whatever municipality you're in. But as far as federal government goes, you can, when you sell your home, you can make up to $500,000 profit on your home and just keep it. No taxes taken out. So another great investment. And it's yours. You can do what you want with it. When you rent a place, you may not be able to paint it or do the things you want to do. You may not be able to change the carpet or the floors or that kind of stuff. And when you have it, it's yours, and you get to do what you want. It's just a bit of freedom that you have personally, and a personal connection to something, and you get to decorate it the way you want. And everything becomes yours, and so it's just nice to have that feeling.
Yeah, this is my house.
Yes, exactly.
So tell me, if I was thinking about buying a home, I'm already a homeowner, but if I was thinking about buying a home, what are some things that I might want to think about or consider before making this big purchase?
Okay. Well, when you're looking for a home or buying a home, there's 3 things that are the most important.
Okay.
Location, location, location.
You got me, Josh. Okay, so why is that important?
As an investment, it's important to find the best place you can find a house. That's where you're going to make the most money. That's generally where you're going to be happy. You're going to find a location that's happy, and you're going to be a place that's safe, a place that has good schools, things that make you feel good and safe. But also in the future, when you go to sell your house, you're going to want to have a home that's in a good location. You're going to want to probably want to try to buy the cheapest house in the smallest house in the best neighborhood. So
why is that?
So because when people come to look for a house, when you go to sell it, the people that are at the top end of the neighborhood, let's say you buy your house for $200,000 and the neighborhood goes all the way up to $400,000, the people that are spending $400,000 aren't coming to that neighborhood to find a house. They're going to a different place that's more expensive. So you can make the most money when you go to sell when you buy the cheapest house in the neighborhood. And you don't want to over-improve that house for that neighborhood either. You always want to stay towards the bottom to middle range of the home value of that neighborhood.
And you want to do that just in case you decide to sell it?
Yeah, just when it's time to sell. I mean, typically, I would say there's a good portion of people at some point sell their house. Usually lately it's been in the 5 to 10 year range. You know, it's obviously better. You stay in your house longer. You build the investment. You pay it off. So don't look for that. People don't come to look for that expensive house. So always only do upgrades to the middle range of the neighborhood. Buy a house near water or with a view. I mean, you'd be surprised what people call water and a view. Some people call a little tiny hill, a little tiny bump a hill. Like I live in the hills, and you know, or some little creek. That's really just a water runoff from the neighborhood. We got a water view in our house. But yeah, that's really helps with selling and value. So if you can do that, do that. And then you also want to obviously consider schools. People often, especially with families, buy houses in neighborhoods close to good schools. So when you go to buy, make sure you check out the schools. Make sure you check out their ratings. Make sure people are happy with the schools in the area, because that's a big deal to people when you go to sell.
That's true. You know, Josh, you shared a lot of good information with us, but we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some things you should avoid if you want to buy a home. Okay?
Sounds good.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers. Right now.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
Hi, and welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Josh, and he's educating me on being a first-time home buyer or if I should buy a home. Now, before we went on break, I said we're going to talk about the things you don't want to do, the things you want to avoid when you're thinking about buying a house. What are some of those things?
So I want to hit a couple more points that I want to talk about when you're looking for a home. Okay, and this could kind of fall in that category too. But it's really important to overlook things that are easy to fix, right? So you can get a really great deal on a home that has ugly carpet. You can get a really great deal on a home that has ugly wallpaper. You can get a really great deal on a home that has ugly paint or bad landscaping. Things that you can fix that are easy will get you a good deal on a home. Because other people are going to go in there and be like, oh, I don't like the way this place is decorated, so they're not going to make offers. And what you're going to see is that price value of that house fall. And we'll talk about that when we talk about home selling, how you don't want to be that person.
Okay.
So there's some things that you want to do when you go to buy a home. You want to get a home inspection. Okay. You want to make sure that structurally the house is in good shape. You want to get an appraisal. Typically, you'll have to do that anyways if you're getting a loan. Banks require appraisals. But in the case that you had money or you had an inheritance and you're going to pay cash for a home, make sure that you get an appraisal because you want to make sure the house is worth what you're paying for it. You want to look into title insurance, getting title insurance. Dave talks about this in his program about how he used to buy houses and real estate and everything. And he bought a house from this estate, and he bought it from two sisters, and everything was great. He got title insurance, and all of a sudden they forgot they had a brother. Now the brother wants a piece of the pie, and he's coming after Dave for the money that he wants. But Dave had title insurance, so what did Dave do? Calls up title insurance company and says, hey, you guys insured this title was good.
Oh my God.
Hey, take care of it. And that's what they did. They paid him off, and they take care of it. So don't forget title insurance because something may come up like that
This is
where
true.
you get stuck and somebody's going to want more money that owns part of that title or if not all the title. If you're buying a house in a rural area, think about getting land survey because back in the day it used to be, the land goes from, my property line goes from this rock to that tree, which neither one of them are still there. So make sure you know what you're buying by getting a land survey. Some of the things that you want to avoid is a bad floor plan. That's something you can't fix. So if you buy a house, you might get a deal on it, but if it has a bad floor plan, and when you go to sell it again, people are going to walk in and say, oh, I don't like this floor plan. It's going to be harder to sell. Obviously, a bad neighborhood. You don't want to get in a bad neighborhood. You don't want to be in bad schools. You don't want ugly, just an ugly home at the bones, things that you can't change, like a driveway. We have a driveway in our neighborhood, and I don't know what they were thinking. They put this house on the top of a hill, and the driveway goes like this. It's almost unfunctional, right? And so when people come to see that house and look at it to buy it, they can't even drive in the driveway. I mean, you scrape your way up and scrape your way out. So these are the kind of things that you can't fix, and you don't want to buy houses like this because when you go to sell them, people aren't going to be able to fix them. And of course, you want to stay away from things like mobile homes. They don't really gain in value the way a typical single-family home does.
That's some really good information. So tell me, Josh, if I wanted to buy a home, should I get a real estate agent or should I just go online and find a home on my own? What should I do?
So you want to have a real estate agent. You want to hire a professional for this. They have access to MLS system. They have access to the paperwork you need. They have access to everything that you need. You're buying $100,000+ investment,
Yes.
right? It could be $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 investment. You want to make sure you're doing it right. So real estate agents go to school. They learn this stuff. They're professionals. You want to have a real estate agent when you're buying a home. I mean, you should interview them. Interview a few of them. I mean, you want to make sure that they're going to do the right thing for you. And the same thing goes when you're selling your house. Make sure you have the right real estate agent. Make sure you have a go-getter when you're buying or selling a house. Find somebody that's in the market that's going and getting it. Because if you want to get the home that you want, then you want somebody that's a winner, that's winning every single time. They're selling good houses, they're buying good houses, so you want to be a part of that. You want to kind of stay away from family and friends typically because you want to feel good that you're helping out a family or friend.
Yes.
Because, it's a big investment, and you don't want to lose out, just because you're being nice. I'm not trying to be harsh, but
Yeah,
that's...
but you're making a very good point.
But you make
yes.
compromises, so...
So if you decide to buy a home, how much should you put down, or what's the going rate, or what's the amount that people normally put down on a house? Because this is a big investment.
Well, the best thing you can do is put 100% down.
Well,
Right.
not all of us can do that.
Well, actually, 31% of the houses in the United States are paid off.
Are you serious?
So you can. Let's take, for example, you have a couple. Let's say they make $50,000 a year each, right? And they've been going through the baby steps. They've been working the plan. They've been saving. And what they decided to do when they got married is live off the $50,000 and save the other $50,000. Now, you could buy a $200,000 house in cash for full in 4 years off of that salary. So, a lot of this comes down to spending. Like, how much money am I going to spend? Am I going to spend everything I make, or am I going to save? Am I going to be a saver? And so you kind of have to learn how to be a saver. But 100% down is doable. But if you can't put 100% down, 20% down, that's what we're looking for. We want to get 20% down. 20% down gets rid of PMI, private mortgage insurance. And a lot of people think private mortgage insurance, that's great. No, it's insurance for the bank against you. So it's not insurance for you. You're paying to ensure the bank's going to get payment. And when they don't get payment, then they're going to have the insurance company pay them for your mortgage, and you're still going to get the boot out of the house. So it's for the bank. There's another way to do it. If you have to, there's an 80-10-10. So you can finance 80%, put 10% down, and get a second on 10%. A lot of people have done that in the past, and that seems to work. But I would go 20% down, well, in this order, 100%, 20% down, or as much as you can put down, or you can do 80-10-10. So you just got to learn to hate debt. I'd hate being in debt. I hate owing people money so that you can get that house paid off quick. So
should you just buy a house with outright, or should you finance it? Which way is the best way to go?
Well, like I said, 100% down. So you should buy it outright if you can. If you can. So, a lot of people will talk about, it's a good tax write-off. It's a good tax benefit. And so, you want to consider this. So let's say you had a $200,000 home. Let's say you had a $200,000 home. That's fine. And you are going to pay about $10,000 a year. You're going to pay $10,000 a year in interest. And some people like that tax rise. Well, if you start doing the math, you're going to get taxed about 25% or $2,500 on that. So your choice now is, do I give the government $2,500 or do I give the bank $10,000? I'd rather give the $2,500 and keep the $7,500, right? Or if you really, really like your tax write-off, take your $10,000 and give it to a charity, give it to a church. And then you get the tax write-off, and you're not giving it to the bank. So the fallacy that somehow you need to have a loan so that you can pay interest so that you can write it off is just that, a fallacy.
Yeah.
So.
With that, Josh, let's take a short break, and we're going to talk about the different types of mortgages that are out there.
Falling together now, we can make it better. Can we do it? We'll rope it up. 'Cause we know how to jump. We'll cut it down. 'Cause we know
Moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier. Search We Can to find out more.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Let's switch to Energy Star light bulbs and stop burning through cash. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Josh. And Josh, I am learning so much about buying a home. Now, before we went on break, we talked about the different types of mortgages. So what are the mortgages that people can get in order to finance their home?
All right, so there are several different types of mortgages. What we're looking for is a mortgage that's no more than 25% of your take-home pay. You know, you want to keep that level right so that you're not drowning in your home. We want to do a 15-year fixed conventional loan.
Not 30-year?
Not 30 years. So we'll use the example of the $200,000 home again. I did this calculation. At 3.9%, a 15-year mortgage, the total you'll pay on a $200,000 home is $264,000. On a 30-year home, or 30-year mortgage, at that same rate, which typically you'll get a better rate on a 15, but we're just going to use that rate for this example, you'll pay $340,000 for that home. You've now paid $75,000 more for your home because you did a 30-year loan. So some of the things that we want to avoid are adjustable rate mortgages, because you know which way they adjust, right?
No.
They adjust up. They always
really?
adjust up, yes. So what they do is they give you this teaser rate so that you'll take it. And this was a lot of the problem with the housing bubble bust, is that people got these adjustable rate mortgages, their payments went up, their payments went up, their payments went up. And we're trying to work on a budget, right? That's what we're doing here. We're staying on a budget. If your payment's going up, it's really hard to stay on a budget.
Right.
So they always adjust up. So you want to stay away from adjustable rate mortgages. You want to stay away from interest-only loans, because then you're just paying interest. You're not making any progress on your mortgage. And we want to get that paid off. And then the other thing that we've seen a lot with these celebrities and older folks is reverse mortgages.
You know, I don't understand how that even works. It doesn't even make sense to me.
So basically, you're working backwards. You've paid so many years on this house, and you have all this equity in the house, and so the light's right there. I mean, it's right there. The end of the tunnel's right there. And what happens is a lot of these older people, they're strapped for cash, and so they start taking payments against their equity. So they're working backwards, right?
So they would never own their home.
They'll never fully own their home, because eventually, at some point, if they get all the way through that, their home's no longer theirs. It's owned by the bank, and when they die, their heirs don't get the home. It goes back to the bank.
Oh, my God.
The other option is owner financing. That's not, I'm saying stay away from owner financing, but if you do owner financing, make sure you get it in writing. Make sure you get it, notarized, because, when you make agreements, sometimes people get amnesia, and they're like, what did I didn't say that. So make sure you have it in writing. Make sure the terms are in writing. Owner financing can be great, just as long as you get it in writing. You can have two parties that work out really well. I end up paying him some interest. I get the loan that I want, the terms that I want. So owner financing is great.
So tell me, Josh, I've heard of people saying that they're upside down in their home. What exactly does that mean?
So basically, and a lot of people went through this when the bubble burst, right? So I'll give my example. We paid $150,000 for our home, or we refinanced it at $150,000. This was before we went through the program or anything. And when the bubble burst, our home became worth $85,000. So we bought at the top of the market. Bubble burst is worth $85,000. But if you're in that situation and you still got your job and you're doing fine making the payments that you already have, you don't have anything to worry about. Eventually the market will come off. Dave says the only people that get hurt on a roller coaster is the people that jump off. So just keep paying it. The market will recover, and you'll pay as you agreed. Now, if you're not in that position and you've lost your job or something, the best thing to do outside of bankruptcy is a short sale. So basically, you make an agreement with the bank that says, hey, I got a buyer at this lower rate. I know I owe more money. And that keeps the bank from coming after you. Like if you were to foreclose on a house, they'll come back for the money. So you can do a short sale. You'll still have to pay some taxes on the difference, but you'll be able to sell it for less and then get out of it. But I don't agree with, there's a lot of people that have been doing this thing called strategic default, where they just don't want to live there anymore. They're upside down. So what they do is they stop making their payments. They save the money, and then they walk away from the house, and then they go put a big down payment on another house because they've been saving the money they haven't been paying. So I don't agree with that. I think it's immoral, but I just wanted you to know about that.
Never heard of that before. So tell me, Josh, quickly, because believe it or not, we're almost out of time. What are some things to do if you want to think about selling your own home?
So again, get a good real estate agent. Somebody that's winning, somebody that's selling a lot of houses. Think like a retailer. When you're selling your home, you want your home to be model. Can you ever walked in a model home oh, that's so beautiful? That's the way you want your house to be. I mean, walk through your home like as if you're the one looking at homes and see, like stand by the lockbox where they're trying to get, they're there for a while getting the box unlocked, and look around your porch and make sure, stand out at the street and make sure that your house looks nice from the street. Make sure it's clean. If you got pets, take your big puppy to grandma's house or something, because what does a pet say when somebody walks in the house? Oh, no trouble. Pee on the carpet, that kind of thing. Declutter. Full cabinets look like little cabinet space. Full closets look like little closets. So declutter. You're moving anyway. Pack it up. Put it in storage. And make sure your landscaping looks nice. And you'd be surprised what $1,000 would do. If you took $1,000, $1,000 buys a lot of paint. $1,000 buys a lot of cleaning supplies, and you can get a lot more money from out of your house with, something as little as $1,000. Make sure you have lots of light. Small rooms become big rooms with lots of light in them.
Oh, really?
So your house looks bigger. Buy 100-watt bulbs. Put a drain on the energy, and wherever you're living. Make sure it's listed on the internet. 90% of people, even with real estate agents, look on the internet before they buy a house. So, and make sure you have good pictures. People will flip right by your house if you don't have good pictures. Consider hiring a professional photographer to make your house look awesome. Those are my suggestions.
We've been talking about Dave Ramsey and his school of thought on financial matters. Does he have a website? How can people go to his website to find out more information about him?
Yeah, they can go to daveramsey.com. He also has a podcast, and you can find that on iTunes or whatever podcast tool you're using. So.
You know what? You gave us a lot of good information. Thank you so much for coming and joining me today.
Thank you.
And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show, A Better You, here on Public Access 21 every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Oh, my God.